All right. Big news today in UVA basketball. Isaac Traudt and Kadin Shedrick have entered the portal. What are we thinking, guys?
I know. Well, welcome everybody. I'll do a quick round of intros. I'm TW. Got Spence from Charlottesville there, student. We got Dougie Fresh, Jersey City, former champion, always champion in our hearts. Forrest Wasim in Charlottesville,
Always a champion.
always a champion. Let's jump into it. We've had two shows. We asked this Traudt leaving. Now we know factually Isaac Traudt gone, and we have Kadin Shedrick is gone. So what are our thoughts? Let's start with you, Fresh. What is your take? I mean, we kind of knew.
Yeah, we knew. I think. Well, we also Poppy, right? Poppy transfer
And Poppy.
portal.
So three
I guess
guys.
transfer portal means you're gone essentially, unless something crazy happens. I think Traudt was no surprise. You could read it. You could see that coming from however far miles away Nebraska is from Charlottesville. So call it 1,500 miles away. Kadin, he graduated. I just read and saw that NIL has become a big deal to him. So, HGN, as he always calms us down and puts it best, maybe it's just Kadin's first stop in his professional career, right? And that's not going to be Virginia. He got his degree. It's a comm school degree, which is as impressive as they come for undergraduate degrees. And
Does he have his degree?
he will in May, right?
Well, he's a third year, isn't he?
Red shirt, third year. He's been there 4 years, so
yeah.
he'll have gotten through that, and time to move on. I was hoping at Kadin that he would look around and maybe do like his prep and see there's, this place is better than whatever he saw, but apparently he's ready to take the plunge. And there's early whispers of North Carolina area schools interested, so that's nothing that I know for sure.
I mean, I heard it's sort of like anecdotally he was super unhappy, and people saw him unhappy around campus and not, I wouldn't say pouting, but oh, he's definitely gone. That was kind of ear to the ground in Charlottesville. He just wasn't happy. Forrest, were you surprised when you saw the news for either of those?
I mean, not really. Kadin, there was during the middle of the season, middle towards the end, lost a lot of playing time. So that's all kids ever want. It's just they want a chance to play. So when that's taken, he went from starter to not playing. So
yeah,
I can't blame him. I mean, everyone wants to play. So maybe you transfer and go to a place that you can potentially play. He could have maybe played here next year. Who knows? I mean, we might get some transfers, but everyone wants playing time, so it's not shocking.
So I mean, he started a bunch of games. He got in foul trouble. He had some big games, some not so spectacular games. How much of it does he look in the mirror and be like, "Oh, I need to get better," or is all of it in his mind's eye I just need to find a better situation? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably both. I mean, I think everyone realizes everyone's not perfect, so everyone has flaws, and everyone, you can, as a player, what you're good at and what you're not good at, and when you've made a mistake and when you haven't. So, in that respect, he probably knows. But yeah, no, he was probably just looking for a new opportunity.
Yeah.
He's been here for 4 years. It is what it is. Maybe it's time to move on and try something new. I mean, 4 years is a long time. We had him for 4 years.
Yeah.
So.
And on the other end of the spectrum, Isaac Traudt says he wants to be closer to home. He's far away from it. I know Spence has given us girlfriend updates every day since the season ended, and it seems like the tea leaves where he's going closer to home to be with his family, but hard to argue anything there, right? He's first year, hasn't played. I mean, sucks that we lost him, but what are your thoughts, Fresh? Not knowing he's gone now and he's openly saying, "I just miss home." What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess he does. Maybe. I think again. I've said all along, and far as you probably saw, but when a red shirt can be a lonely time, man. Guys are doing things and having success and whatever, and you can't you can't take any credit for it. Maybe he just wanted like an Italian vacation, and like he just got that all expense trip paid and came. But Charlottesville's not for everybody for sure. It's definitely again a hard way to do it, and every kid's different, man. Like I can't imagine not going to the University of Virginia and playing basketball and having an absolute blast the whole time, but that's just me. So it's hard to, pin it on anything on him. And, maybe also seeing Creighton, if that's the foregone conclusion that he'll end up at Creighton, have a pretty good run in NCAA tournament, guys can say, hey, there's more than one way to do it. And that's back to Kadin. Maybe Caden's tired of playing, stretching out all over the floor and trying to hedge a guard's quote unquote responsibility. And he just wants to focus on, he always talked about he likes blocking shots, right? Maybe he wants to focus on those things. So there's a shitload of places that you can go play basketball, man. And the transfer thing makes it a lot easier. I can't fathom not wanting to be at Virginia, but that's just me. So who are we to kind of be in these guys' minds? And you never know what they're hearing as well from around whoever it is.
And there's also the NIL piece, right? We know Creighton is well known for throwing the bag out there for him, so maybe there's something there. Coming home, getting a bigger check, being closer to your family and girlfriend and all of that. It doesn't sound so bad after all,
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad at all. The one redeeming factor is like he didn't leave because our program, like he had a problem with our program. Like that's just, he left because it's a problem we can't fix. He's just not close to home. So we still have a good program, solid program. So that's the one redeeming factor out of all of this.
Yeah, we're probably not done too, right? We're still waiting on news. What's Armand going to do? What's Reese going to do? More to come on those as those unlock. But I was going to shift gear, unless there's anything else. I mean, I don't want to jump into rumors. Joel said he got 100K. I don't know. I've heard 200K. I even heard more than that. So, well, who knows? That's like, at this point, he's gone. Let's just deal with it. I mean, if NIL is a thing that we're reckoning with, maybe, we got to up our game on the NIL front and get more funds in the NIL to help these guys ease the pain of whatever it is. If it's a dollar issue, at least maybe we can jump in there and fix that. But I wanted to ask Fresh, Elijah Gertrude. I don't know if people have seen his highlights. I don't know if you could pull them up for us in a minute here, Spence. But this guy is a freak of an athlete. I know he tore his ACL here, but the guy looks like a special. Maybe Fresh, you can walk us through how did you get to know Elijah? How did you first see him on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, I saw the first I ever saw was on Locker Room Access in the forums, and we have a few guys. I'll shout out Who and True, even though he claims he was not the one to do it. But people put highlights up of kids all the time, and sophomores, juniors, seniors around the country, people that they think are interesting. I just saw one, and I pressed on it, and it was Elijah Gertrude at Hudson Catholic, which is in Jersey City. At that point, my son Kyle, my middle son, had just graduated from Hudson Catholic. I know the athletic director / coach, etc. And so I had a meeting. I had a planned visit with him anyway. So I went in and asked him about him. And he said he does things like that. He was way under the radar. He quote unquote started blowing up. What do they call it in the what would that be? The spring of last year. And then so I just followed him around here. I didn't drive far. I literally rode my bike a 2-minute drive to the summer league and would watch him and got to know his mom and dad a little bit. I was calling Jason Williford and telling him I was watching him, and they're asking me what I think, and I was like, you better offer him quickly because it's coming. And I think, the early thing that people tried to put out around these parts as the quote unquote, it's called the Jersey City kind of basketball mafia is that he didn't want to go away from home. So Charlottesville would be very far away from home compared to, Seton Hall, St. John's, on and on and on around here. And it turns out that was never the case. As I found out later, he visited unofficially. Family loved it, and then did the official. Blake Buchanan, who's going to join him, was there, and the family's all in. Man, they're all about Tony. They speak very highly and they're very honored to be around Tony Bennett and staff. From Jason together to Orlando. Orlando was very involved with it, and
Let's get to his game for a minute. You've seen him play. What kind of player are we?
It's in person. It's just something. It's kind of jaw dropping. Like you're just like, wow, did he just do that? And you see the highlights, and that's crazy. But when you're in person, it just happens so fast and it's so abrupt. It's kind of like the way if you watch Justin Anderson when he was in college. If you go to a practice and you're kind of watching guys, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, Jason, who is that guy? And it was Justin Anderson. He's that kind of guy. I went to their open gym when the college coaches come, which was in the fall. And he's got some other high rated guys on his high school team, but he was the guy that everybody was oohing and on about. He shoot, he can make shots. You'll see a three there. That's kind of his jumper. It's still, I wouldn't call it a work in progress. It's a little more polished than you might think, but just the closing speed on defense, the ability to jump quick and fast, and then it's just an extra gear in the air, and the body control. For a young kid, he didn't play a senior in high school, but his body control as a junior is something that I think is impressive. I don't know. I don't think that we've had, you guys tell me, I don't think we've had a player quite like him at the combo guard position. I don't think so. No.
I don't know. Forrest, what do you think? You've seen this highlights, you've heard whispers. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a very exciting player. I think it'll be, I don't know where his recovery is at with his ACL right now, but I mean, he's a high flyer. He's got a great game. I think he'll excite a lot of the fans, and I think he's a real good piece. So yeah, he's gonna have to play a lot of minutes next year. Who knows? But
hopefully,
you think next year? You think immediate impact next year?
It's hard to make an immediate impact because it's just the pace of the game is faster. There's just a lot. It's a different game when you move up level by level. But he could potentially have an impact. Yes.
I think that I mean, as far as you know better than me, in under Tony in the day-to-day practice and learning the pack line or whatever you're learning, he definitely has a curve in terms of learning certain things, but he does. I've always said it. He does really, really hard things very easily. I'm excited to see him on the defensive end of just like getting after guys, and he's got the sort of Reese hands where his hands get in passing lanes. He knocks things out, and his hands are active. He hasn't been a guy until he's really challenged, and he really wants to go to the next gear where he'll like attack defensively. But then when things start happening during a game, he decides to attack. You see what can be, but Forrest, like, you have to have that intensity 95% of the time on the court, not just pick your spots and do it right. If you want to play, and it might not be ideal coming off his injury to play tons and tons of minutes, right? So if needed, I think he will be ready. He's got all the best doctors. His surgery was by a Nets doctor who happens to be a Virginia guy. I just found out.
Oh, nice.
I don't know who it is, but yeah, that was his dad said that was really put that over the top as to why they wanted to go to him. He's obviously in contact with Ethan and Mike Curtis and the staff, and he's ahead of schedule compared to what they look for athletic patients to be ahead of, or where they're supposed to be at this 12-week stage. I guess it's like 13 or 14 weeks now. So yeah, it's all exciting, man.
Yeah. I think the good thing with the learning curve is with potentially a lot of new players, everyone's going to have that learning curve. So
right.
He'll be theoretically on the same level with a lot of the players. So if he learns things fast, then it'll be good for him.
And as you know, it's like athleticism cures a lot of things, right? Like, if you're out of position, but you can close back quickly, closing meaning get back to where you should have been. But like just having I guess, what do you guys do? Tape the floor where you're supposed to be in certain situations and all that. I think the fundamental side, he's got some stuff to get better on, and maybe this injury will ramp that up for him instead of just focusing on the crazy, unbelievable plays that we've seen.
I mean, I'm assuming we're going to have more transfers in as well, so we don't know what the lineup is going to be. We don't know what's going to be asked of him, but it's going to be interesting to see, like, how does he compete for minutes? What does that look like? I mean, McNeely was the one, and then Dunn later in the year, cracking the rotation. It's going to be something else. I mean, we'll see.
I'm not even going to say if we have players through the portal. We're going to need to take players in through the portal,
Yeah.
or else we're going to have Forrest come back for an extra year, and I'm going to
Got one.
be on the 5. So
Yeah.
I think absolutely I'm looking forward to see who we pull in through the portal. But I mean, we're going to need to. We don't have any more players.
Yeah, it sounds like we're going to need a big for sure, if not 2. So we'll see. You know, the Dante Harris I've heard around the way. I mean, what have you heard from that, Forrest? Have you heard anything about Dante?
Yeah, he's quick.
Yep.
I've heard that he's the quickest player that anyone's seen, including all the other quick guards we've had. So, take that for what it's worth. But quick, very quick.
I've heard similar. I've heard best, most athletic, finishing point guard since Singletary. I've heard that. So I'm curious. I have no idea what that means, but I'm curious what he brings to the table. I've heard he can finish at the rim, and he can, he's got some wiggle in his game. Maybe not as good defensively as Kihei, but he's still that water bug type of guy. So we'll see. I'm curious. What have you heard, Fresh?
Well, I saw him one time in practice the day before the Duke game. We were all down there together, and I watched a little bit. But they were doing half court stuff, obviously, and offensively in the half court, total water bug. He was so quick a couple times. He actually just ran. He overran the ball when he had the ball. He's just going and darting in and out. I didn't see anything full court, but I assume that translates to some speed going up and down as well. But yeah, I don't. It's eye opening. Like I don't remember seeing anybody on our team like that quick with the ball. I think London could be, but London kind of played that little more laid back type thing. But when you need to be really quick with the ball, but it's just a different low to the ground and darting in and out type of thing. He's a problem, I think.
And what do we know about the Leon in terms of how he's shaping up? Forrest, have you heard how is Leon Bond doing in practice and workouts and
deep than all the newcomers? So he's probably gonna have to be someone that comes in and gives us a lift in a capacity. So look for that.
So we got McNeely obviously coming back. I imagine, I hope he takes another step up with a year of experience. We don't know about Reese. I mean, Chris is saying we're going to start Reese. McNeely done. We don't know about Reese yet, right? Reese could enter in the draft. He could transfer. We don't know yet, so we're not going to jump to conclusions just yet. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But the next year's lineup is going to be something else. It's going to be all new. It seems like it's going to be a fresh look, right?
It's going to be good. I know it's like frustrating at the moment, but it's also an exciting time. Like you're basically solving a puzzle. Like, all right, we know what the end product should look like. Now we just need to figure out the pieces. So that's always an exciting time. I know it sucks right now, especially today when like the pieces you had are no longer your pieces, but it is an exciting time, especially with the portal. Like there's just constant movement, for better or for worse, but there's always good players out there. So it's exciting. I think it's exciting.
Yeah, Lisa just asked, is Franklin? We don't know yet. I mean, I think he was there at the ceremony for senior night. He took, a lot of people read that as he's gone. We haven't got an answer yet.
I mean, so did Kihei last year.
Yeah, it's true. So maybe not.
There's still time to change. You can change your mind day to day, right? Different things could happen, and my opinion on Armand is he probably wants to get his next career started. Whatever he's going to figure out professionally, whether he can do some summer league, NBA stuff, free agency, get on a plane and go to Europe. He's got that. I don't know him, but he's kind of got that look to himself, like he might enjoy some time in Italy.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of fashion sense about him and all that stuff. He might do well to go overseas. And
there is some info from our guy who's got next in the VIP forum and in the Intel report. So that's about Armand and about some other guys. So that's some exclusive stuff. If you want to check that out, You can find it on our website, lockerroomaccess.com/VIP.
We
But
won't
obviously
spoil
nothing official yet.
Douglas Workman is asking, what about Buchanan playing the 5? Is that I don't know a ton about him. I mean, Fresh, have you heard much about?
I have. I've watched it. The more you can watch him, I think the more you're gonna like him. You know, he's got that one crazy picture that somebody posted on Locker Room Access where he's dunking it, and it's like his entire torso is basically at the rim. He has a family's volleyball background.
Okay.
I think maybe both parents, maybe sister play. So he really gets up. He's really, really improved. He's only going to get bigger and faster and stronger. Now, when you talk about positions 5 and 4, I don't really know how that works. Forrest might can explain that better. The difference in a 5 and a 4.
Yeah,
so
I
to
mean,
speak.
like
But
usually, I guess traditionally our 5s are not necessarily our scores. Our 4s, we've gravitated in recent history towards a pick and pop 4, or a 4 that can score, shoot the ball. So, yeah. So I mean, not to say that we never had a 5 that can score, but
I think Blake. I'm gonna make a bold statement because I like to. I think he might be everything that kind of Traudt wasn't, but Blake's not the shooter. I mean, not many people are. He's not the pick and pop shooter that Traudt would have been or will be for somebody. But I think the other things, I think he's going to be quicker to the defensive side, figuring it out. Apparently, Traudt maybe wasn't yet at this point, and I think Blake will have a lot of that stuff from what I've seen. But we're going to see him too. He's going to be in the games. TW. He's going to be in the what is the big game where the United States plays the foreign teams? What's the name for that? Help me.
The Hoop Summit.
Yeah, the Hoop Summit.
Yeah, Blake's going to be in the Hoop Summit. That's going to be awesome for fans to be able to watch. It's great exposure. The whole thing.
To see how he moves. I mean, these are his highlights right here. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been going to. I'll say something about Leon. I watched Leon practice as well.
Okay.
And again, as a red shirt, he was. What I really was impressed with him is he really looked like he belonged. You know, he had a couple plays where he caught it slashing, and you're just waiting to be like, maybe he's not quite ready, but he finished his shot. You know, he finished it. He didn't go up and dunk on everybody, and he's talkative. His energy is infectious, so to speak, and I think he's going to find ways to get himself on the court and be helpful in a lot of ways. So he looked like he belonged.
So what's the comp for this Buchanan kid? Like I'm watching these highlights. It's hard. Obviously, anytime you're just watching highlights, it's like the guy doesn't miss. It's like, oh my god,
right.
What are we
he just makes every shot.
Yeah, it's freaking unbelievable. Like
we got to find that picture of him just like he's gonna just jump over the rim. It was amazing.
What is the comp for Blake Buchanan, Dewey?
I mean, like maybe Mamadi's a comp. Like I could see that being a fair comp. Like
shout out to Forrest with the interracial comp. It's rare nowadays.
Interracial. It's like transcontinental.
Yeah,
I mean, like, yeah,
I love it.
We got multiple continents.
You didn't just go Jay Huff, the last big white guy. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that probably would have been a good comp too. That's a fair comp. I think Jay is a great comp too. Yeah, no, you're right. Mike Toby is a good comp. Mamadi just came to my mind, but it's okay.
He's definitely got athleticism, man. He reminds me of somebody I've seen in this tournament, and I'm not sure who. I keep wanting to say one of the Creighton guys, but I don't want to say that.
I mean, Spence and I were talking you look at the Final Four. There's not many big guys that are like post up and play. Like it's a bunch of it's small ball is definitely a theme here. Guys that can switch along, play many positions. So it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. I don't know if TV is selectively thinking we're going to play small ball, but it seems like that's a consistent theme in the tournament this year.
Yeah, well, we definitely don't play through the post. Let's say that much, right? Like a post up guy. UConn's got the big 7-footer who runs the floor really well and does the whole thing, and they hit him high. They hit him up high in the post and play off of that. But yeah, a lot of it's very different now.
Yeah, we're definitely. Tyler said it. We're going to need Buchanan to be solid right away. So, and Chris says that we no longer need a post scorer. We'll see. We'll see. This is going to be interesting off season for sure. Any other predictions? We've got a couple more news coming this week. Any thoughts, Fresh?
I think we covered the Reese stuff, so I'm not going to talk anymore about Reese. There's the Blake. Look at that. That's just I don't know. He's just soaring. He might catch his mouth on the rim in that picture. I just reading all this stuff and the way kind of things are trending and happening. I could see Armand, moving along. That we've always heard that Armand, Reese, and Kadin are really good friends. I think, or some combos along with Kihei. I'm sure. Obviously, Kihei's gone, as far as we know. And there's some of that. You look at like what I guess players start thinking. What am I coming back to at the same time? So, and I think Forrest put it best, the most optimistic. It's a puzzle piece, and you're putting it together, and we should be excited about that, and not just upset that we're losing guys or guys want to get it. The funny thing about NIL is more and more I see so-and-so's in the portal. I think the portal's up to 1,000 players. And fans will be like, oh, we like this guy from George Mason or wherever. And the first thing every portal guy says is NIL is important to me.
Right.
I mean, really? I mean, of course. And do we go into Caleb Love? I think somebody put that up on the comments earlier. Fresh, are you in the portal? Fresh is not going in the portal until Jay Willie takes a job at another school. Then Fresh will be at risk.
Well, there's some news out of that camp too. The reports are that he declined the job at George Mason today. Yeah, so that's
Jay Willie.
Good news for UVA fans who are also fans of the Jay Willie show.
Oh, could you imagine?
The Jay Willie show could have been a head coach's show, but I think we'll see.
Do we go after Caleb Love in the portal, fellas?
Yeah, does locker room access turn into a George Mason platform?
I don't think we can afford Caleb Love, but
no, you don't think so?
I mean, Caleb Love in the portal is wild to me. Like he got what, $1 million coming back to UNC, and like now he's back.
He's gone to St. John's. St. John's. He wants $2 million.
Yeah, I mean he has money now, and now he just wants to win. So I mean,
St. John's is interesting, Spence. I tell you what, go play for Patino and that system and flying around the court everywhere.
Yeah, I mean after UNC,
that's
like what do you? It's crazy that Forrester said he's leaving UNC to go to a winning program. Like that is nuts. Like he wants to win. Let's see what happens with the Caleb Love. I mean, who are some other? I guess there's so many people in the portal at this point.
Yeah,
it's like we need to hear from everyone who's in the portal, who's not, and kind of evaluate. But that's going to be interesting to see who does UVA put their name in the hat. Chris Mullen days are back at St. John's. Yeah,
ski. Bring Chris Mullen back. That was fun to watch.
And he got fired, right?
He was back for a little bit.
He's back for longer than you realize. The best would be like there'd be like a timeout, and like Mullen would just kind of like walk around the court, and the players would be like in the huddle, like kind of looking around, like there's 10 seconds left. What should we do, coach? And he's just kind of like looking at the fans, hanging out.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna get a portal report here from Who's Got Next. We can jump back on tomorrow and give a breakdown of all the guys we're looking at. It's probably going to be a long list, and it's going to be a list that keeps changing, but that's part of the fun. This is the new college basketball world where you're basically scouting every team in the NCAA because they might be in your team the next year. So,
Fresh, what's the forum saying about transfers? Anybody you guys are looking at?
There's a kid, Jennings from Texas Tech. I think he's young. I think he maybe only played a year there. Am I right? There's somebody named Timberlake from somewhere, and I'm not really sure.
Timberlake, I think he's from Towson.
Yeah. Timberlake, the 6'4", kind of a big guard, 3-point shooter. I guess he's a big in the overall portal. I think, of course, he wants NIL.
I imagine kids that we've recruited in the past usually we continue to have relationships with.
It's familiarity in the whole thing, and they probably know the coach's name. There's I think a George Mason kid. Speaking of, And you keep hearing Providence and Georgetown. That's obviously, north, south, north between those two people transferring. It just seems like every day you look up, somebody else is transferring. But, I'm sure we're going to have kids visiting first week, second week of April. I think who's got next said, whether that's planned or that's just expected, that's going to happen. So
here's a question for you, Forrest. What type of kid, as they're narrowing their list of places to go, what are the qualities that they're looking for that would come to commit to a UVA, right? Because it's not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not. I mean,
what do you think a kid that's like? What obviously they want to win.
Yeah,
NIL
they want to win. They have to be. They have to be, somewhat decent in the classroom. You can't fly by here without that. That has to be a prerequisite. Especially coming from a previous school, you have to have like certain thresholds you have to reach.
No, you can't even get in without it. That's just a fact.
It has to be like a guy that can buy into the system, basically, because there's no like 5-star just dominating the team. It has to be a guy that wants to be a team player and is all about the team and not about himself. So it's a very unique player. It's hard to find sometimes, but they're out there.
I mean, it seems like the one thing that we as fans are always asking for is like the dog on the team who's like, give me the ball and I'm going to score at the end of this game. Like everyone talks about how that was missing this year. But it's almost like it goes against the team aspect and humility and all. Like, is there something weird going on there in terms of like what fans want versus what we're recruiting for and what
one thing you want a guy who has a balance of that, who can have that quality about him and can go at say there's 10 seconds on the clock and can take that responsibility, but at the same time throughout the course of the game can share the ball and is a team player and isn't all me. I'm trying to think of in the past who was that guy. I mean, if you think about
what I'm trying to say is we need Bronny James. No, I'm kidding.
that would be Spence. That was a tremendous answer, by the way, Spencer. You said it.
Yeah.
I love the way you broke that down.
Chris Martin asked,
I'll take Bronny James.
Why would you choose to redshirt if you're planning to transfer? I don't think he chose to come here to redshirt and transfer. That's my guess. I don't know. I'm crazy thought there. I think
he was not planning on transferring. My personal guess would be he started figuring out that he might want to transfer towards the back end of the season because, I mean, he made the choice to redshirt if I'm not mistaken, and I think that just as the season went on, as Fresh said, redshirting is lonely, and at the end of the day, he made it for personal reasons, and he was very far from home and missed his family and missed the people that he was close to.
Yeah. And most importantly, he missed $250,000 on. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you can't. I mean, it doesn't seem like it was a basketball decision, and I don't think it was because the redshirting may have played into it, but I don't think that was the main contributor. So at the end of the day, I mean, you got to respect the kid. He's doing what he thinks is best for him. So I mean, that's the decision he's made, and we're gonna have to move on and fill that gap.
Yeah, I think he and Isaac, it was the famous. Hold on. He was the famous Isaac squared thing coming in, and we thought they had a relationship, which I believe they did, out of high school, and they come together. They were there this summer together, but then Isaac McNeely's playing, and Isaac Trout's redshirted, so Isaac and Ryan Dunn are playing, and Isaac's got to be. He's probably boys with the guys who are playing, and that stuff can shift. I don't want to say relationships and go that deep, but in terms of just, post game reactions, you're going to talk to the media and you're walking in the media room with Kihei and whoever, and you're kind of one of the boys. And then, maybe Isaac had a scooter and just didn't feel like he was part of it and went and did his own thing. Isaac Traudt.
I mean, I want to shout out, you mentioned the Isaac squared. I want to shout out TL Goody on the forum who said that we got Isaac square rooted today.
I did see that.
Yeah, I like it.
That was good.
And that is what
We've had a lot of good ones.
I don't know if we have any of those Isaac Squared shirts left, but all we need to do is just put a square root over it, and we can still.
I think we did a pre-order, and then we just shipped them to the people that ordered it. All eight of them loved it.
Well, anyone who has one of those shirts and was contemplating using it for your next bonfire, there you go. Get some fabric paint, little square root sign.
Yeah, the forums had good, bad, and ugly through this whole thing. So
a lot of ugly.
Yeah, there was the dog conversation. There's in the chat here. Scott said Brogdon had it. Guy, Ty obviously had it. Yeah,
I think Trey had it.
Trey Murphy.
Yeah.
Trey. I mean, it was tough from his position.
He didn't have as much.
He didn't have the ball.
I mean, London definitely had. London. I always say he loved being down 6 points with a minute left, just so he could take the challenge and come back and win the game. London was a big high performer under pressure type things.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough though, right? Like, we don't know the dynamics of the locker room. We don't know the dynamics of what's being said all the time. So it's hard. It's hard for us to come to conclusion with, oh yeah, that's the guy, right? It's like everybody wants to say that.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's a quality that you can kind of see on the court from the outside perspective. Like you see when we're in those situations. For example, at the end of that Miami game, it was Reese who got that ball, and it didn't seem like he had the fullest confidence in himself that he was going to make that play. But if you say Justin Anderson had the ball, I don't think that he's looking down or looking at anyone else. He's got the most confidence in himself that he's taking it to the hoop and he's putting it in the basket.
Yeah, Scott said neither were guys you give the ball to, and everybody give them space. I think he's talking about Ty and Kyle. I don't know. Fill us in. I'm trying to keep up with the chat.
Yeah, I mean, there's an ability that comes with it too. It's not just I couldn't just grab the ball with 5 seconds left and just go through the entire defense and lay it up. There's definitely you have to have a certain amount of ability to take over in those spots, and all those guys obviously had it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, like it'll be interesting. I feel like next year is a great opportunity for someone who wants to like step into that role. Like it's obviously a lot of playing time available. For someone to come in and say, I'm going to be that guy. This is my chance. And,
Elijah.
Yeah. To take over the reins of the program. Because it seems like we're in a transitional phase here, right? Like it's been a while since that's happened. That we're just going to have an entire new look to the team. I guess after the Natty, it was like that. But Kihei was kind of the anchor there. We'd known Kihei and Mamadi. Them coming back. So this is it's been a minute since we've had an entire fresh new crop come in and take over. So this is going to be fun. I'm curious to see what the new look Wahoos are going to be next year. Maybe we'll be surprised. I think TB always wins the ACC, so assuming he'll have the guys ready in position, but we'll see. It's going to be fun. Jen asking, was Kadin honored on senior day this year?
No, he was not.
No, he was not.
Yeah, he chose not to do it, right? He was going to be, I think, or that's what the rumor I think he was going to, and then he decided not to. But 100% his choice.
Yeah,
I believe.
I'm hearing. I've seen some reports that he is being looked at by Indiana. I've seen that a couple of different places.
I saw that too. Yep.
Interesting.
What do we guys think about Poppy? You think that he's going to end up transferring somewhere, or you think he might pursue a pro career overseas? What are we thinking about that?
That's interesting. What do you guys? I don't know.
Put some feelers out. See what
just feeling it out. Seeing what happens, but
see if we
gotta get him on one of these and see.
I mean, one thing we know Virginia guys are always in demand in the portal, whatever level it might be, right? Everybody wants to get that sneak peek, and Casey obviously had no problem going to NC State and doing well. Justin went to North Carolina. That's as big as quote unquote it gets as a recruit McCoy. I think guys like to get those guys and just at least, have that veteran,
right. I mean,
Tony kind of.
Is this like everyone leaving? Not everyone. I won't say everyone. The vast majority of the team leaving and revamping.
It's a lot.
Is this going to be more the norm moving forward? Do you think? Is this like something regularly we're going to see? Like, hey, a bunch of people are transferring and like people coming in and out. Like, is this something every year we're going to need to basically have rent-a-player program, and every program is going to be shifting?
I think it's going
to.
No, I think there's a coaches association NCAA, and I think these guys are just going to have enough. I don't know how you keep up with it. Some guys are built for it, right? Some coaches and staffs are built for it because that's what they do.
Right.
I don't think the overall makeup of the whole country is, and I think there'll be like a need to quote unquote get it under some semblance of control. Whether it's like you have to sit out a year again, that puts the brakes on the whole thing.
So do you think they're going to do something to change this? Like this, obviously, you've heard so many coaches complaining that this whole transfer portal thing is the real problem, not NIL. You think something's going to be done, or is this is just here to stay? This is the new college basketball.
I mean, I think it's here to stay for a little bit. I think. I mean, you just look at the Final Four. Like you have FAU, San Diego State. Like there's just Miami who bought their roster. Like there's just like. Excluding Miami, like FAU and San Diego, they have transfers on their team, and like it's creating some semblance of parity in college basketball. So like that's what
can't argue that
people want. So it's doing that.
Yeah, it seems like in terms of the product, it hasn't really hurt the product. I mean, the March Madness was
it hasn't hurt hasn't hurt the product, but the one thing that people said when this rule was a thing was like it's gonna hurt mid majors. Like we have 2 mid majors not named Gonzaga in the Final Four. So
it's done the reverse.
I think it's only helped mid majors.
Yeah. I mean, there's 2 sides to this thing, right? Like people are leaving and people are going to smaller programs.
Well, there's no secret. The NCAA is going to look at the ratings of the Final Four, right? And last year, they Duke, Carolina in it. They have to. Yeah. That's where the money comes from.
Only
it's all TV.
They have a 10-year deal or 20-year deal with CBS. I don't think they care about the ratings anymore. Like that's already done. My guess.
If the NCAA wants to exist for 10 more years, that's fine. But that's just how these things work, right?
Yeah, maybe. I would figure CBS cares more than anyone what the ratings are, right? Because they've got to go back and sell sponsorship. But I don't know how that works. Like, do they say what a great college season? Ratings were up year over year. I have no idea. Like is that the?
Oh, I'm sure it has to. That's why they hire people to do that nonsense. Definitely.
Let's optimize the NCAA for ratings in March. I don't know.
Maybe not that. Well, that's I'll go back just a second. I think that Tony Bennett and the program that we have here is always going to attract those 4-year guys. But I think that with the portal being the way it is in the current state, I think that it's always going to have that allure for guys like Kadin, who maybe wasn't happy with how things went this season, to see greener pastures somewhere else and decide that he wants to leave. But I think that, from what I've heard, Elijah is one of those guys, and there's always going to be guys who really buy in and want to be 4-year guys and think that that's going to give them the best chance to move on to the next level. And I think that we're always going to attract those guys.
Yeah, I guess you're going to hear less and less. How many stories have you heard about, I thought about transferring, but I didn't do it, and it was the greatest decision, and I love whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Every single player thinks about transferring.
Yeah, you throw that out the window now. It seems like if you're really thinking about transferring, you're probably going to do it because they've made it so easy for you. I don't know what that means. I really don't. Like, how many of the people that stuck it out maybe could have transferred and changed their situation and been happy as well? I have no idea. I'm just throwing a wrench in there. It's like, yeah, you always say that because that's your situation, right? Like you want confirmation that you made the right call. Here's from Chris Martin. We talk about our guys leaving, But think about all the guys recently that have transferred here. Yeah, right. We had Sam Hauser. I mean, Sam Hauser was a huge get. Trey Murphy was a huge get. Janie Gardner was a huge get. Like, we've done well in this transfer portal. And if you think about it, like the NBA, who we've traded out, like we're definitely crushing it in terms of who have we traded out. I mean, our transfers out have not lit the world on fire outside of Mariel Shayok. Maybe, what do you say, Fars?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've fared well in the transfer portal. I think it's definitely been kind to us. It's a two-way street always. Like players will leave, but you'll always have. We know we're a big program. The programs that hurts the most is like when you have a mid-major team with like just an absolute stud, and then they transfer to like a high. Like it's harder for them to replace that stud.
All right.
We're a blue blood. Like it's easier for us to replace a guy like that who transfers out. So it's not the complete end of the world for a team like Virginia.
Yeah, but like you said, now there's the reverse. There's the Kadin, who's played 4 years at UVA, has a real chip in his shoulder and may go to a mid-major and play really well. So, that's the other side of this coin that I think we'll see play out. It might end up being even at the end of the day.
Well, do we think Kadin's going to go mid-major? Where do we think he'll go?
Nah, he'll go.
No, probably not. That's a bad
example. Go to a big school. I think the whole thing this time is Traudt is the big shocker. A guy he redshirted, seemed to have tons of promise. Ridiculous shooter, and then you redshirt, get the free look, and then leave Virginia. That's quite frankly never happened.
Yeah, here's Sean's question: does Tony need to change his style due to the portal world? I mean, based on what we just said, no, right? We're doing well with the portal world. It seems like in terms of.
I don't think the portal's going to dictate his style. Forrest, what do you think?
No. I don't think it's going to dictate his style. I mean, at the end of the day, we are we're an upper echelon team, and we are, irrespective of NIL, we are like a destination for players. Mm-hmm. Players do want to come here. Like, might not get paid as much in college, but like we have shown returns at the next level. So it's still a destination place for players to want to come and play.
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, changing the style for what is the question? Like, if you're talking about changing the style so we can keep Kadin, seems like. I mean, just saying it sounds ridiculous. Like, you're really going to change your style so you can keep Isaac Traudt and Kadin here, and it doesn't make sense. Right? It's more like if we are who we are, and if you're not bought in, if this doesn't feel like a good fit, we'll. These are men at the end of the day, and I feel like this coaching staff will shake their hand and be like, "All right, good luck. Like, we showed you what we're about. If this isn't it for you, like, we wish you well, and good luck finding what you're looking for." It seems like that's the approach, and then we're open and honest about the incoming guys coming in. Like, hey, this is what we're about. If this is what you want to be a part of, come on, like, open arms. Let's go. And that seems to do well. It's hard to argue, right? It's how many people have left this program and have positive things to say. So, Julie had the question: how many scholarships do we have?
No clue.
We have many a
lot more than we did a week ago.
We have Traudt and Kadin's. I know that.
Enough that Spencer's dad might be very happy very soon.
I think we have 9. Officially, I think we have 9 guys on up for next year. So there's 6 left? 6, something like that.
We have 9. We have less than 9.
Well, if I'm counting Reese and I'm counting Armand. That's because they haven't announced yet.
Okay,
we'll see.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is Tristan on scholarship?
No.
Nope, not yet. No,
it might be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including Reese and Armand.
I'll tell you who if I'm Tane Murray, I'm not excited that people are leaving, but I'm excited about my personal opportunity here. You're going to be a junior, right? He's only a junior. I've always said you're never your real self unless you're a freak until you're a junior. and he was starting to play a little bit toward the end of the season. I always thought he had bad luck in his time. Maybe that's his skill. Maybe that's because of him. Maybe it's not. But I think he should really be excited about, again, putting in a good summer's work and being ready and prepared and all this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Travis, I don't see any reason for Reese and Armand to leave.
I would conversely say, why should they come back?
Yeah, I was just about to say there are many. I see lots of reasons on it. If we're being honest, right? These guys have been here through COVID. They may want a new look at everything, right? If you're thinking about going pro, if you're thinking about making money, thinking about moving on, starting your life, maybe.
Yeah, we all for sure want Reese back. I mean, I could say unequivocally.
Yeah,
I mean Armand too, obviously, but
yeah, but I would totally understand if they're like, hey, yeah, it's time for me to go on and make money and start my life. I got my degree. I'm whatever. I'm done with school. I get it. We don't know their situations, but we'll see. It's a lot of risk. There's a lot of risk. There's a lot of factors at play here. Travis said Tane is getting ready for a big year next year. Yeah,
I like it, Travis. I think so too.
We're gonna need it.
Yeah, we're gonna need Tane to step in and make some plays, and he puts
the work in. That's for sure. It's gonna show up. He's big, he's tall, and he's got a good build, and he's athletic enough that it should come together for him.
Yeah, it's Tane's 3 years now? Is this his third?
He'll be a third. Yeah, he's going into his junior. He's only going to be a junior. We live and die by every second of every game. He's got,
That's really interesting because we really, not that he got lost in the shuffle, but we didn't really talk a ton about Tane other than Hav is probably his biggest fan in life. So
yeah, exactly.
He's always texting about Tane. So we'll see. Matthew said excited about Leon. Let's go. What are you hearing about Leon? Tell us.
I like Leon. Leon's got he's got a great personality. I mean, I haven't seen much of his play. Obviously, he hasn't played at the level of the NCAA yet, but I mean, he's got great personality.
You're smart.
That's what
we really need posts bad. Buchanan is our only. I mean, Post from Boston College. We could use him for sure. We could use him.
We'll take Post.
He was solid, bro. I liked him.
Post.
No, yeah, we do need some post player or not. I don't know. I'm done.
That's a tough position, man. It's a tough. I think Farah said it. Explained it the best. That's the way it works in the system. It's kind of you're kind of by yourself there. You're not. You're not popping out and you're not taking jumpers and that stuff. You're doing a lot of the screening and other things. So
the small ball, you don't think small ball is the wave for us? You don't think there's a world where we just go small ball on purpose?
The key to winning or going far in the tournament is guard play. Not that guards have to be small, but as long as I just want guards. As long as we can get guards, we'll be
How
fine.
many though? Is there too many guards? Can we get 9 guards?
Yeah, no. Miami has 130 guards, so we can
give or take.
We'll be fine.
Is this a recruit best available player and not necessarily go out and recruit position? Is that what the tactic you think we'll take?
No. I mean, you want to recruit what you need. So you don't want to just recruit best possible player, but you want to recruit what you need. But we need guards.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone you're looking at for us? Who are you thinking in the portal?
Guards wise, I mean,
yeah.
I know I just said we need guards, but I'm kind of focused on the bigs right now.
Well, who are you thinking on the big side? You got anyone in mind?
Yeah, I mean, guys that we've recruited in the past, like Jamin Brakefield, Jalen Withers, the kid from Wyoming, Graham Ike. I mean, he's a Mountain West player. I saw him a little bit when I was at Portland. He's good. Average. I don't know if he'll come here, but he's probably everyone's calling his phone. But I think we need to start there. We clearly have a hole in in the 4 or 5 spot. So let's start there, and then we can focus on guards.
Is Traudt finishing the semester at UVA?
Yes,
I assume he's got to.
Yeah, why not? But if I'm being honest, who cares? But we'll see. Yeah. Like
that was okay. Here's a question for Forrest. People were asking in the forum. Once a guy declares for the portal, do they still get the amenities of being a player? And is it like awkward when they're walking into JPJ dining hall and everyone knows they're on the way out?
I wasn't here for portal life, but I mean, I would think that they still get access to, at least they still get access to the amenities. It's not like, they're still kids. Like the amenity, like they're just gonna go shoot. If they're hurt, they can get access to E. Like you don't want to like if a kid's hurt, you don't want to detrimentally like affect his life. Like and you're not getting treatment here. Like, sorry,
go bat to his knee.
Go figure it out yourself. So
Spence is a savage. All right, look into mine.
That's what the forums are asking.
No food for you. Like
your forums are
meal plan's cut off.
Spence
you're going to O-Hill.
Cut the badge off. You're done. You transfer. You're out.
Done. Like,
O-Hill.
They
the forums are asking that. Yeah.
I would imagine they still get stuff. Yeah, just completely cut them off. Like, I don't think that happens, but I've seen weirder.
Gary said he's excited about the potential athleticism. Dunbond, Gertrude. I haven't heard Gertrude before. I've always heard. Anyway,
Elijah.
Beekman. I know I've always heard him as Elijah. It's almost like, who the heck is Gertrude? Beekman, IMAC, yeah, it's exciting, sure. Right? Like this is what Far's talking about. We're putting together a new puzzle here. We got to get excited about with what we have, and that's a lot of it. There's a lot of potential. I don't know what potential athleticism really means, but whatever, I'll take
Faris, what's your take on Beekman? Do you think he's coming back? What is your?
I mean, I think he's like you'd be dumb not to test the waters. So he's definitely testing the waters. And when he announces, we don't need to freak out yet because he's just testing the waters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe he's gonna wait and see what we can fill in around him because and I think Fresh is spot on. Like what is he coming back to? So. Is he coming back to a rebuild or is he coming back to, it's all about what he thinks. It's like we can convince him all he wants. Like, hey, man, we got a good team, whatever. But it's what he thinks. So if we can put the right pieces around him, maybe we can convince him that way.
He's earned that right.
Yeah.
I would say.
How does that make you feel, Spence?
I mean, I agree with it. I think that – but, I mean, the thing is if you're Reese Beekman and you think that – and you're not coming back to a lot, but you think that you can put the program on your back and put a limited roster and put a good season out, I think that's something that could raise your stock if you come out and have a weak roster and you take us to another ACC regular season title, scored 20 points a game in a Virginia team that's like 50 points a game for somewhere else. I mean, I think that's a great way to boost your stock.
I don't think Reese is going to score 20 a game.
I mean, we also didn't think that if you asked us 6 months ago if we thought that Traudt was going to be gone, then we would have been surprised by that too. I mean,
that's kind of like a thing for him, right? Does he want to come back and be the man? And Fresh and I were talking about this. Does that help him at the next level? Like, is he going to go to an NBA team and they're going to be like, all right, you're our Derrick Rose, like lead us? Like, I don't know.
No.
Does he want that kind of heat? Does he want the smoke like that? Does it come back, be the man and see like that? That's not for everyone. And maybe that's not the lesson he needs to get him to the next step. I don't know. I'm just throwing out basically every reason for him not to come back because why not?
We want Reese back.
We want Reese back.
Let's make sure we all agree with that.
Let's temper expectations and be surprised if he comes back. Like, let's assume he makes the right decision and he's going to be. I mean, I'll be the first guy to order a Reese Beekman NBA jersey. But whatever, it is what it is. What else do we got? Lamont Beekman is not an NBA player right now. Go get in the gym and work on your shot.
Oh, Lamont.
All right, Lamont. Tell us how you really feel.
Someone give
Speaking
him
of the
Reese's
Heat.
number.
Okay.
That was meant for Reese.
Yeah,
That is Lamont. I think Lamont's just Chris Havlicek.
could be. No,
That's his burner account.
that was a take. That was definitely a hot take. I like it though. What else do we got here? Matthew. In a few weeks, we'll be back here talking about how low the team is next year.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Let's go, man.
Reload, not rebuild.
Yeah,
That comment.
yeah. That's
I like it.
I like that attitude. That's the right attitude. Like everyone's going to be dunking from the free throw line right about a week before the season starts, and we're all going to be excited with the athleticism. But yeah, right now it feels like it's that time of year for doom and gloom. But
Blake Diakite.
That's right.
That was far. That's your best moment yet.
Julie said, "Sorry if you guys cover this, but why is Traudt is leaving? No, he wants to be close to home. Yeah, homesick. He wants to be close to home.
Back to Nebraska.
He wants to be closer to where he left that $200,000. That's what I think. But whatever. Chris probably. Yeah, Chris probably same style. Yeah, I think it was a question above will we change our style. Like I can't imagine we're changing our style. Even it's everyone says it's so hard to adapt to play the pack line. I don't know, Forrest. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean it's a learning curve, right? I mean, like most people play with an offensive mindset, offensive-minded coach, so it's hard to adjust to a coach in a system that's so defensively focused and like really, really, really honed in on that. So it's definitely an adjustment. It's not like it's very learnable the way the staff teaches it. I mean, they've done it year after year after year, so they know how to drill it, how to teach it. So they're very good at that. So it's not it's a steep learning curve, but it's a very it's an attainable piece of knowledge.
I mean, Travis said we need a shot blocker, big defending center who doesn't get elbowed to the face every game. Yeah.
He took a lot of shots. He had bad luck through his career, man. He caught mono.
I wanted to see Kadin with a mask, like one of those
Why not?
Those big plastic masks.
And Sean said we need a stretch five. We definitely need a stretch five.
What's that mean? A five that's really tall, or does that mean a four that becomes a five?
Five that can touch his toes.
Yeah, he needs yoga. Another
Blake
2K hub. Why do people keep leaving us?
Shit. Portal's open. The portal's real.
People keep leaving, but people also keep coming.
Yeah. TP is the worst thing that's happened to college sports and teams. I don't know, man. Like how?
Not the worst. Yeah, but if there's no transfer portal, we're not getting Gene Gardner. We're not getting Armand Franklin.
I agree. It's the worst thing that's happened.
We're not getting Sam. We're not getting any of those people.
Yeah, we're not getting transfer.
Yeah, we are. No, Sam. Sam had to sit a year. Trey got the early waiver.
Trey got the waiver. We got those two before.
Yeah, Sam and Joey House, the OG transfer portal. They did it the hard way.
Maybe he means toilet paper though. I don't know.
I thought toilet paper. That's what we called it growing up. TP.
A five that can
toilet
shoot
paper.
The three. Fives that can shoot the three well. Yeah, that's.
Blake's gonna solve Blake Diakite is gonna solve all of our five dreams.
Yeah. Oh, portal is hard on the casual fan from Chris.
Yeah, I mean, real fans want to see the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, possible red shirt, etc. And you want to grow up with them. You don't want to see them go somewhere else. I'm getting tired of it because then you want to follow the guys, right? Like I'm watching NC State games to watch Casey, which is still fun. I don't want to go watch Creighton next year, and I don't want to go watch whoever. But I will, I'm sure.
This is a good point from Jim.
Mariel Shayok.
In the portal era, our record on transfers has been overwhelmingly
net
positive on transfers in
sure.
and negative on transfers out.
Yeah.
McCoy has what, a total of 6 minutes per game at UNC.
Casey Marcel, not lighting the world
Marcel
on fire.
played well.
He's
Not doing great.
Yeah, Casey made a good move. Casey's
or
doing
maybe Jim is just talking about nationally, just from any team, anyone transferring out. But I think the Final Four is going to, like, I think there's a lot of transfer out.
No, exactly. We've had more benefit off of inbound transfers than anyone who's left us.
Yeah, I think Forrest can tell you this. I think the majority of our transfers leave because they see they're not going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at transfers
Devin said he thought about it vis-a-vis London, and then Devin made the most out. I wish more guys were like Devin and put the work in and became one of the all-time greats the way he did. But there's a reason guys leave too.
Will anyone transfer out because they don't believe in the pillars? I'm waiting for that.
I mean, has anyone transferred outside of Shayok? We don't have any transfers who are in the NBA and transfers out. Transfers in, we've got.
Yeah, none of our best guys none of our real players have transferred.
Yeah, I mean we've had
nothing against anybody else, but it's just they haven't.
Yeah, I mean
that's why Trout's kind of a groundbreaking thing in my opinion to see what.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they
and Traudt hasn't. Okay, we can't forget that Traudt hasn't played a single game for us.
Yeah, he could be.
Traudt never played, so I don't know if we even consider that. Like, is that even it's not even a basketball transfer,
right?
Yeah,
he's just leaving. Like it's just as much as it's just as much a decommitment.
Well, we should make a graphic of transfer out points versus transfer in points to see the net positive.
I mean, look at transfer. How about transfers and their salaries in the NBA?
Yeah, that's facts.
It's maybe like $1 million in career earnings to hundreds of millions.
Well, DT did pretty well after he transferred, right? He did okay. He transferred. He transferred twice. He transferred in and out. So
we get double credit on that one.
Was he Tennessee, Virginia, Western Kentucky, or some shit?
Yeah, Western Kentucky, I think. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, we've wild. Graduate transfers. We've had a few of those. I almost don't count those, but yeah, KT Harrell's another one. Jabri.
Yeah, Jabri. I forgot about.
Carson McCorkle.
Think about a guy like Anthony Gill was a transfer in. Trey Murphy, Sam Hauser. I mean, we've had good success with guys coming in, but not much with guys going out.
Too bad we didn't have Gill for 4 years. All right, fellas. Let's see. Tomorrow's another day.
We'll be on here tomorrow talking about
tomorrow. There'll always be more news tomorrow. Appreciate everybody jumping on. Yeah, Igor with the CBI championship, best one yet.
That's right.
Shout out to Sanchi for winning the CBI. No, appreciate everybody for jumping on. Forrest, appreciate.
Thanks for the comments, man. We make jokes with the comments to make it go.
Thanks, Spence, for putting this together.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. More news tomorrow. Hopefully, good news.
Maybe we'll see. If you're not subscribed, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and you'll get it. And hit that bell, and you get alerted whenever we go live. And check out, we got some merch in our shop.
Yeah.
lockerroomaccess.com/shop. We got these hoodies. We got a bunch of other stuff. Some new designs, some cool stuff. And we'll see you guys. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Go Hoos.
Some more interracial comparisons from Forrest tomorrow. Stay tuned.
That was a great comparison. For real. It's hard to do. It's hard to go. Your mind doesn't think that way. I like it.
All right. Go Hoos.